Hello, welcome back to Cray Outdoors. Benji and I recently made a trip up north to do some salmon fishing in the Tug Hill region. Eventually I'm going to make a very long travel vlog from that whole trip, but I decided to break the Oswego fishing portion into its own separate fishing video. So just to give context to today's video, because it is a little bit confusing, today's video took place over the course of 3 days, but not in order. We stopped there on our way up to Pulaski Friday evening. I caught one of the biggest fish of my life, which was awesome, a big female, which allowed us to cure the eggs on our way up there. We didn't have an egg supply, so that gave us eggs that we cured. So when we got back there on Monday, we were able to float fish for them as well as throw plugs for them. So we fished most of the day Monday. We got there about 10 a.m. Monday, and then we fished again Tuesday morning before we left town about noon. Benji formerly was one of those salmon don't bite guys, and only recently has accepted that salmon will bite if you target them the right way. So this video is his first couple of salmon that he caught that actually bit. He wasn't flossing them. So he had a great time. I was very happy to make a believer out of him, but it was just an awesome trip. So we'll jump right into it. And this was one of the biggest fish of my life that I hooked into on the way up there. I don't know where it is. Get that net ready. It'll probably be a minute or two. Just be careful if this thing comes flying back. My drag's really tight. Alrighty, I went through every plug in my tackle box. This is a new one. I don't know, the way it feels, it doesn't 100% feel like it's in the mouth. That might be in the top fin. It's shaking a lot to be in the mouth. It might be, but I think it might be in the top fin. Just the way it feels. They don't, see how my rod's bouncing a ton? It feels finny. I don't know. I'm trying to keep it from going in those rapids. Alright, I'm right out here. Dang, my arm's getting tired already. I think this is a big fish, whatever. I mean, it's definitely a salmon. Definitely a salmon, and it's definitely big. My concern is if it is in that fin like I think it might be, as soon as you get it at a 90-degree angle, it might come flying up. Let's just be careful of that. I'm yet to see it too. It's big. It's going again. It's right in front of me. It's staying low. I don't know if it was in the fin, it'd be coming up. Maybe it did slam it. If it was in the tail, it'd be coming up. So I guess it might be such a big fish, its head shakes. Nah, dude, it's a salmon. They're amazing. There it is. Nope, he slammed it. It felt like it slammed it. Sweet, this is my female. Alright, remember, hand over hand, straight up. Oh, he slammed it. Heck yeah. Whichever. Alright, you got it, dude? You're gonna have one shot at it. Don't mess it up. Straight up. Lift it, lift it, lift it. Okay, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go.
Gosh, dude, it's huge.
Straight up, hand over hand. Alright, thanks. Yeah. Oh, it's a female, dude. Heck yeah, dude.
Woo. Good.
Thanks, man. Awesome. Sweet. Thanks, dude. Look how fat that thing is. That is the fattest salmon I've caught in my life.
I wonder why it takes so forever.
Yeah, I didn't either. Thank you. That's gonna make an awesome video. Seeing you freaking. Thing weighs more than you, Benji.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Thank you. Thank you. Whew, on that bomber thing.
Needed someone to freaking hold my legs down. Swapped out too.
Yeah, I just swapped out. This was. I just gotta keep switching plugs till you find the one.
38.
Sweet. That is. That ties my biggest ever freshwater fish.
I'm gonna guess 28 pounds. Actually, I don't know. That thing's probably 30. I think I can barely even lift it up.
Definitely need to wait before I bleed it out this time. I've made that mistake before. I don't even know how to hook this thing.
I can't even lift that.
Holy cow.
I thought it was a lot bigger.
Yeah, I thought it was bigger than 22.
It's like 21.
Yeah, 20 and a half.
Got him at just the right time.
Yeah.
Dude, that looks huge.
That is huge, dude. Looking back at it, at 20 pounds, 38 inches, I believe that was the biggest freshwater fish of my life and the second biggest fish of my life. So Ben has been out of eggs and I've been completely out of Western New York the last couple seasons, so I didn't have an egg supply. Part of the whole reason for this trip was to catch as many big female kings as we could and or cohos and get us an egg supply. So that first big fish on the way up there was critical so that we could get an egg supply and start curing the eggs. Now we're having to cure all of our eggs and stuff outside. So the trip started off good. Actually, those don't look bad.
Don't look too bad, does it?
Those look perfect, dude. All right, do whatever we did on that for the second bash. We have like some expired fire cure that's hard as a rock. So we just beat it down in a bag and are shaking bacon salmon eggs. These are some egg sacks we're tying with the brown trout eggs that I was given, stocked brown trout eggs. These are the eggs we're taking home for steelhead. So the salmon produced us with a lot of stuff. We had no idea if this was even going to cure the eggs properly, if it was going to work or not, but it turns out it did. By Monday, the eggs were ready. We headed back to the Oswego after fishing that morning one last time in Pulaski. I believe we got to the Oswego around 10 a.m. and started catching fish. I'm gonna bring it this way as far from the rapids as I can before he freaking runs.
Get it, buddy.
Yeah, let Benji get it. It's gonna be really heavy.
Thanks, buddy.
Did he take a lot of line with it?
No, he ain't too far out actually. I just know that they'll go on a major run out of nowhere.
Yeah,
And I only got a 6-pound leader. All right, Benji, it's coming. I have a feeling it's not gonna wanna come in for a while, but
right there's your bobber.
yeah. It's actually not that big. What is it? Smaller than I thought.
A lot of fight in that.
Yeah. I'd love to get a coho, dude.
Maybe it's just a small.
Okay. I don't know how to do this with the pin. I should probably go over you and... Stay on that side of me and I'll try and pull him into the net. Alright, get that net down. You got it facing the right way, Benji? This guy. Oh, dang it, he's going into that stupid sluice pipe. I'm gonna lose him, crap. Okay, I gotta get him out of that sluice pipe. Let me get away from that sluice pipe. This is the first one we've landed with the center pin in here, so I don't know what we're doing.
Get Benji. I know you can get it, Benji.
It's short.
I don't know what it is. I think it's a brownish coho. It's a coho. I'm keeping it. I think it's my first coho, dude. Don't lose this.
Yeah, I think it's coho too.
What's the legal size for them?
15.
Yeah,
Oh, he's 15 all day. 15 all day.
You'll be all right.
Get it, Benji. Get it, Benji.
You got him? Yeah, dude. Woo!
I don't know.
Heck yeah, dude. That's a coho. I think. I don't know. I never caught a coho before. Or is it a really small king?
I don't know.
Either way, if it's a female, I'm keeping it.
What is this? Pretty fish. I think it's a king.
We'll look it up. We don't even know what we got, but
Thing demolished it.
yeah, dude, look how freaking deep that took that fire cure.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. Coho versus king salmon.
Yes.
The coho has an orange, reddish, firm, and mild flavor. I don't care about that. All right, well, I said I was gonna release males. And first of all, at first glance, I thought this was a female, but taking a closer look at it, it does have a hooked jaw. So we're gonna keep it. It swallowed the heck out of it. I'd have to cut the line. Oh yeah. Swallowed the heck out of it, and it's been out of the water for a while we were trying to figure out what the heck it is. We think it's a small king. It's a salmon anyway. We're happy. I'm on the board. Just wanted to jump in here real quick. Yes, I am still a noob at salmon fishing. I've only probably caught 12 or so salmon before this one. I'd never caught a jack before, so I was just confused. It's just a king salmon. I know I had read before that Pacific salmon, after they spawn, they will die, so it didn't make sense for me that these fish would run when they were small, but I did some research. It makes sense. If there's ever a year where there's a drought or something happens where the salmon can't get into the stream, if they all were to spawn at the same age, you'd end up losing the entire species. So there's a lot of genetic diversity among these fish that are out in Lake Ontario, which is a stocked fishery, but out west where salmon are actually wild, it's really important to have those jacks, to have different salmon spawning at different ages. And that way the species continues if there's ever a year where they can't access the river or all the young in the river die that year. There's going to be more salmon continuing to come up for the next couple of years and continue the species. Thought that was interesting. I know I get a lot of haters whenever we get confused about the identification of a fish. You should do your research. You should know ahead of time. It was years ago probably when I looked up how to identify salmon, and I don't remember reading about jacks or the size variation. Now I know. I think a lot of people that leave hate comments don't remember that they learned through trial and error. You were probably also confused by your first jack salmon after catching a 38-inch salmon the day before, a couple days before, and then you catch one that's like 18 inches. It's like, what? Is this the same species? What's going on here? I'm confused. So that's what happened here. We were confused, never seen a jack salmon before, but they're a thing. So if you don't know, now you know, and I know now. Benji is freaking on. Hang on, let me get this thing on the stringer. You're gonna be a minute fighting that. That's awesome, dude.
Good job. Someone say fire here?
Oh boy, keep him on there, Benji. Yeah, it's a male, all right. No. Let him take it out of there if you have to. Oh shoot. Oh shoot.
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do either. Is he tangled on it? You might just have to let him freaking take it out of there. Oh shoot. Oh shoot.
I think he's on it still.
Yeah, I think he's on it still too. You might need to, I don't even know. Run over there, throw me the rod. Oh no. Is he still on there?
I think it's
No, it's still there. He's still there.
still there.
Oh, that sucks. See if we can get more leverage with the net. Get it up high. Is he out? It looks like he's out. He's out. He's out, dude. He's out. Yes, dude. This is amazing. I sure hope my camera's recording. Yeah, I'm recording.
Another male, small king. Thing.
It should be tired out now.
Should be coming up here real soon. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready when you are.
Alright.
Wait. Yeah, it's okay. Woo! We got him, dude. You got him, dude. Your first real freaking salmon. Assuming you have him hooked in the mouth and all.
Pretty
Oh,
sure
yeah.
I
Yeah,
do.
he choked it, dude. He choked the fire cure. Frick yeah, dude. Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. All right. It's another male. It's up to you if you want to keep him.
Yeah, I'll keep him.
He freaking choked it.
Choked?
He choked it, so.
Dude, 2 salmon in 5 minutes.
Yeah. They're hitting all of a sudden. Add it to the stringer, dude. That was insane, dude. It was around that rock. You're so lucky that you freaking got that fish. I think it's bigger than mine.
I don't know.
Shake and bake, baby. We gotta shake and bake our.
For steelhead?
Yeah, I threw out that old fire cure. I shouldn't have thrown it out, dude. Again, got my better camera now.
That's how you do it, huh?
Finally. Yeah, they started discharging some nasty water and fish started biting again, so. Just whatever you do, keep them out of that current. Seems like a bigger one.
Bobby did a little Bobby and then dropped.
Yeah. If it starts going to the current, just like slowly drop the rod tip low so that it doesn't get leverage. Yeah, like if you have to, put the rod tip all the way down and walk him back. Okay, you're good. You're good. He's out of the current. Looks like a medium-sized one. Yeah, it's a medium one.
Yeah, that's definitely
Bigger. If it's a female, I say we keep it.
Yep.
If it's a male, I say we let it go. Catching them the right way here. It's fun actually. Yeah, fun actually catching them, having them bite. Yeah.
Kind of cool watching Bobby.
Yeah.
Looks like a male.
Dang.
Big male.
And the males seem to like the fire cure better. The females seem to like the plugs better.
Alright.
Holy weeds galore. Don't let them break you off now. Still too deep. Ooh, dude, that's bigger than I thought. That's bigger. That's way bigger than I thought. I think so too. I don't know. That's way bigger than I thought, dude. That's not even a medium one. That's a big one. It's not gigantic, but it's big. Nah, he ain't ready yet. Do I got the net going the right way? Oh, dang it. Sorry. I had the net going the wrong way this time. Whoa. Oh, no. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. He's going to break you off, dude. Get him way away from that stupid thing. We're not netting him. No, I got him. I don't got him. Get him way away from there. Get him way away from there. Get him way away from there. Bring him down here. That stupid hole. Alright, it's best to go head first. I got him. Yeah, dude, that's way bigger than I thought. Whew. Nice fish, dude. Is that a female or a male? I think it's a male. Yeah, it's got the jaw. Yeah, it's a male. All day, that's a male.
Oh,
Nope.
look at that.
Nice. Anybody want it? Yeah. We want to save our limit for the females because we need eggs. Oh yeah, he wants a picture though.
thing that I legitimately caught.
We got a fish glove somewhere. Look at how slimy my net is. The sun's going the wrong way. There we go. That's way better. Much better picture. Good ones. Ben's on again.
Crank 'em in. Another good one.
Got a shot like those guys down there. Ah!
Really?
You did it again. You gotta take a nap.
Well, that must
What
be
you gotta
it.
do? Michael, you gotta get out of there.
Yeah, I just start dragging him this way, Benji, in case he makes a run for those rapids.
I don't know where he's at.
It was definitely the 3 o'clock nap.
Look, hang on, I gotta take a nap.
That's not, it's a smaller one. You should be able to handle him. I don't know. Avoid that, though. It's right here. It's right underneath the posted sign. So get him up past the posted sign. Okay. I should be able to net him over here. That one looks like it's a dying one, dude. I can't tell. Lunge for it. Oh shoot, there's another one over it. There's another hole over here. Uh-oh, and he's going for it. Well, I prefer not to net in front of those, but... Oh, shoot, I missed it. Ow, my shoulder. Oh, dang it, don't want to scoop in. Got it this time. That's still bigger than I thought. I think you got a female this time, dude.
Sure is.
Alright. Benji, dude, you're out fishing me at my own game. I don't know, is that a male or a female?
I think it's a female.
I think it's a female. Ow. Yeah, I don't got the hook. Cool. More eggs to fire here.
Yep.
Alrighty, dude. See what we're using, show you what our skein turned out as. That's what we're using, chunks of skein. We did everything wrong. We cut it into pieces and then cured it. It's mostly fire cure with a little bit of boraxifire on. This is how I hook it on. I leave the membrane on and I just hook that membrane a million times and kind of ties onto the line like that. I don't do that egg loop knot. This isn't the lure that I lost, but it is a lure. It's got a steel leader on it.
It was probably one of those kids.
Yeah, it's probably one of those guys yesterday. There's some folks yesterday using a steel leader and they were just burning those plugs. You want to crank these plugs as slow as possible. I don't know what this thing is. I'm going to throw it though. It looks cool. I'm going to take it off the steel leader though.
Well, slowly making up for all the stuff we went
Yeah. Bandit lures. I don't know what it is, but it's a bandit lure.
A bandit lure?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a walleye lure.
Ah. See if it floats. It floats at rest in the water. We're good. So unfortunately, as I mentioned after filming in Pulaski and stuff, I was short on camera space and I didn't get any bobber downs on film. However, at prime time, I did run the camera for a little bit just in case I got a hit on my plug. And while I was doing that, I got a bobber down from the guy in front of me. Nice, nice.
That one? Nice, Mike. There you go.
Try and keep my line out of your way. I meant to just keep my camera rolling through prime time, but again, I was having issues with battery and storage space and stuff, so somewhere in there my camera turned off. I was one of the only nets on the lower wall, so a couple minutes later, after netting his fish, I started casting my plugs again, and bam, I was on again. Benji! Benji's way down there.
You got him, Matt?
Way down there. Okay. Benji! Doing head shakes, trying to get it off. It's right in there too. We got one coming. Yeah. Hurry. Keeps head shaking me. He's ready. Let me know when you're ready. Okay. Let's go for it. Oh boy. I've tired him out already, so.
How long have you been on?
I'm a couple minutes here.
I didn't know.
I was trying to get your attention. You got him. Up, 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 up. Okay. We're good. Straight up. We got him, dude.
Came right out.
Yeah. Awesome. Heck yeah, dude. Is that my big female? I think so.
Can't tell.
Yeah.
Sure looks like it by the stomach.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Alright. Let's go bring it back down our way. Thanks, man. Other person was offered to bring the net. It's another giant one, dude. Whew. I wish I was filming when it hit. I was reeling in and
Really?
yeah, like the hit was like it did basically what the one at the Niagara River did. Like it just
Ripped it.
But then after that first run, it tired right out.
I didn't know you were even on.
I knew it was a matter of freaking time.
Where you on?
Getting active. Let's put it over here for now. Get pictures and whatnot. The doggy wants to see.
Freaking get him like straight. Oh jeez.
Okay. Whew. I don't think I'm going to take another cast. Fishing hours are about over. Benji's wrapping up his last cast. Everyone's packing out for the day, but that hit on my pink fire Hottentot. My favorite Hottentot. This one's the larger size, which is easier to come by. The smaller size I like to run for steelhead. They're hard to find. This is my first time throwing it for salmon, and it worked. Cool. That was fun. That salmon slammed it. I was filming prime time for a while. Today's definitely been the best day so far. That fire cure was the key. We had to catch a salmon that first day so we could cure the skeins and catch salmon today. Welcome to day 5 of the trip. Day 3 in Oswego. Spent 2 days at the Salmon River in between while our eggs were curing. Check it out, we've got the entire lower wall to ourselves. 6:51. Fishing hours start at like 6:40, something like that. So we're good to start fishing. It's a challenge because I want to burn this thing and reel it in real fast because I have this whole wall to myself. I want to cover ground, but when you burn it, the salmon aren't going to hit it. That's one thing I've noticed with the people out here that are new to this. Everybody's burning it. You want to crank that crankbait really, really slow. You want it wiggling in the salmon's face as long as possible. Dude, my sister used to live out here. I've never had this lower wall to myself before. Not even during the freaking summer. I'm on. Yeah. I'm off. I'm off. I think it ran into my line. I don't think that was a hit. Dude, Benji. Try over here with that thing. There's a lot of fish stacked up right here at this corner right now. I want you to get one on a plug. You want? Yes, dude. Yeah, heck yeah, Benji. Heck yeah. Benji finally got one on a plug. It's about dang time, dude. Don't lose her now. Hello. Yeah, he's got one. Isn't that fun getting slammed by them things? Dude, is that a 5-foot rod?
Yeah. Freaking cast that 10-foot rod. It was driving me nuts.
Benji had some bad line on the rod he was throwing plugs with yesterday, so he pulls out this little freaking ice fishing rod out of his car. The big ones hit the plugs, dude. We were just talking about that. So glad you finally got one on a plug. It's way even more fun than watching floats drop, in my opinion.
That was the wiggle war.
Nice.
That one was the one.
See, I probably would have caught one this morning if I had that lure that I lost.
Yeah, that orange.
Mag lip.
Yeah.
I lost my mag lip that I caught the big salmon on the first day. Whew. It's an angry one. Yeah. Big ones hit the plugs, dude. Oh, she's ticked. That's what we want. I'm not quite ready. Yeah, I want to be positive I'm going to get it when I go to get it. Got it, baby, got it. Yeah, dude, Benji's first plug fish. Yeah, dude. Good start, dude. It's a freaking egg wagon and it's big.
That's like huge.
Big ones hit the plugs.
I want to keep it?
Oh, heck yeah, it's a female, dude. All day we're keeping that. If you don't want it, I'll take it.
This thing smoked the crap out of it, dude. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Look at how it demolished it.
I'll have to get some pliers.
Gotcha.
That thing smoked the crap out of it. Woo.
Yeah, look at how significant that thing's. People say salmon don't bite. Look at that. Look at that. Oh no, dude, it broke it. Ah. Should have gotten it out sooner. Just broke the freaking bill. That's how much power these fish have. So I should have held it better. Bashing around on the concrete, it broke the bill. You got your measuring tape?
I do.
I don't know where mine went. I'm curious how big that sucker is.
It's looking like 37.
37. Wow, it's off.
No, 36.
36. 36. That's a big salmon, dude.
17, 16.
I'd say 17.1. Yeah, I'd say like 17. 17.1. We're just looking at the upper skein train today. There's currently 3 people hooked up, which is pretty crazy, so we think we might be heading up there in a little bit, join the upper wall skein train. There's a lot more people up there, but they're catching more fish, so yesterday we were catching just as many fish as them down here. That said, yours is still the biggest I've seen. That one you caught on the crankbait is the biggest fish I've seen come up today. You can catch bigger ones down here on cranks, but they're definitely outfishing us in terms of numbers up there by a lot today. Alright, well, we've been seeing hookup after hookup here on the upper wall. We're gonna jump in the Oswego skein train. My first time fishing this wall. It's a really cool thing, this culture of everybody drifting and walking thing that's developed. Well, Benji's heading up to get his fish cleaned. I'm just cleaning up. Look at my center pin. It is completely dyed red from throwing that fire cure the last 2 days. So, whoa, if I don't end up in the water here. That's okay, I wanted my pole to end up in the water, but I don't want to end up in the water. I was just telling Benji, never in a million years would I thought the way to catch salmon would be to take the eggs out of them, dye them red, and then hit them in the head till they bite it. Just seems kind of wild, but that's how you catch them. Came a long way from when I first started salmon fishing, that's for sure. This isn't good for the oil on my reel, but I'll re-oil it. This thing is just so nasty. So only that one fish on that last day. Unfortunately, by the time we got to the upper wall, even that had shut off. Basically, the whole river shut off once the heat of the day kicked in. We called it quits around noon. Real quick, I just wanted to go over the hardware and the rigs I was using, just because I know we're gonna get a lot of questions, as I always do. This is my center pin. It's a Lama Glass red line with an Akuma Aventa reel, very budget center pin. Normally, a center pin is a game changer when you're float fishing, but in all honesty, at the Oswego, you probably saw in the video, Benji actually caught more fish than me, and he was just using a regular spinning rod. There you can really kind of walk your baits down that wall, and the center pin really doesn't give you much of a competitive advantage. But if you're fishing smaller waters in a place other than the Oswego, like the Salmon River, Genesee River, Sandy Creek, those types of places, the center pin's definitely going to be a game changer, but I definitely wouldn't say that it's necessary at the Oswego. What's more important than that is actually the rig we were using. Got just a regular size 6 hook there. We were obviously throwing those chunks of Potskey's fire cured shake and bake skein. Got a split shot a couple feet above the hook. Going to a little swivel 8-pound test fluorocarbon leader. I started off with 6-pound test and I broke off on a fish that you didn't see on film. Benji, in the meantime, was reeling in fish no problem with an 8-pound leader, so bumped up to an 8-pound leader. Seemed to not make much of a difference. Couple more split shots. And then this is our main set split shot underneath our slip float. We got a little bead, our slip float, and of course our bobber stopper up here above our Raven slip float. So any kind of slip float meant for steelhead or salmon will work. And we had this set to about between 7 and 9 feet. We found was kind of the happy spot. The water level varies there quite a bit. I would say normally you want it set to like 10, 12 feet, but the water there was very low, so I think the actual depth was only about 10 feet. So anywhere between 7 and 9 feet while we were there seemed to be where you wanted to go in terms of setting it. That's the float rig that we were using. Here's our plug setup. I actually had even more questions about this than our float rig while I was out on the stream. A lot of even the other float fishermen were seeing us catching them on plugs, and we're like, oh, the salmon actually bite those? The salmon actually do indeed bite those. So this is the rig that I was using. Pretty inexpensive reel. This is a Quantum something, size 40. It's a bigger size reel, a little bit bigger, a Quantum throttle. Very decent reel. I think it's only got about 4 bearings in it, but that's all you need for these salmon. You just want something that has a decent drag system. 15-pound test, Power Pro braided line on this. For our rod, and I love this rod for throwing plugs for salmon. It is a really great rod, pretty inexpensive. We have a Fish Eagle. This is a 10-foot medium power rod. Cabela's Fish Eagle. This rod is only about $70, and that reel is only about $30. This is about a $100 setup as opposed to, I mean, this is a couple $100 setup here. It's like a $200 reel and probably a $200 rod. But if you're just looking to catch one, this is a very affordable setup for throwing plugs, very effective. And of course, once again, you don't need a fancy setup for throwing plugs. Benji was throwing a plug at the end on his bass rod. He just had a regular 6-foot bass rod with, I think, 10-pound test, and ended up being able to catch that fish. All you really need is a fast action rod. You definitely want something, or even a moderate action. It has to have a fast tip. If you have a fast tip, you're going to have a lot more control over your lure, a lot more control over where it's running, and it's going to be able to wiggle exactly like how it's supposed to. In terms of plugs that we were using, these are kind of the main ones we were using. This is that one that I actually caught. I caught and reeled in. This is what most people throw down here. This one is a different brand. It's like a walleye brand, a Bandit. That's some kind of Bandit lure. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but pretty similar to the Storm Deep Diving Thunder Stick. I'd say is probably the most popular plug that people throw on the Oswego. I did have one hit on this lure, but these are my favorite plugs here for the Oswego. Definitely the larger size Hottentot, especially these red colors, seem to be the way to go that weekend, but it really all depends. The last time I was at the Oswego, they wanted chartreuse, so just kind of depends. You do want something bright colored, bright and crazy colored. Again, once they get up into the main part of the river, they're no longer actively feeding. You're going for a reaction strike. You just want this thing wiggling in their face and making them angry, and typically those bright colors are what's going to make them angry. When they're still out in the lake or even at the mouth, you can throw natural colors and try and get a feeding bite, but as soon as they're up to where anywhere near the dam, basically as soon as they get to where there's a decent amount of current, they're going to stop feeding, and the only real way to get them to hit a plug is to make them angry. So you just want something with a lot of wiggle that makes them angry, and these lures are super effective for that. Anyway, Storm Hottentot, again, one of my favorites for the Oswego, and then this is a wiggle wart. You can also use the Yakima Maglip is actually what I caught that giant salmon on. You saw in the video I lost that lure, unfortunately, but the Maglip and the wiggle wart are very similar. Lure Jensen also makes the Hot Shot, which is pretty similar. And somebody makes a lure called the Bomber, which is also pretty similar. The lures that I usually use for salmon are these quick fish and flatfish lures, but in the Oswego, these are a shallow diving lure. So these are super effective as you get closer to the dam and in shallow water. If you're ever fishing a couple feet of water, these are the way to go. But off the wall in the Oswego, like I said, it's averages about 10, 11 feet deep there. 10, 11, 9 feet. You want something that dives down to where the fish are and gets in their face. So these deeper diving lures are definitely the way to go off of the wall in the Oswego. I hope you enjoyed the video here. The last thing I just want to talk about real quick is the Oswego River itself. We really enjoyed our time out there. I was really happily surprised to see how many people on the Oswego were float fishing and throwing plugs and doing things the right way. Completely and totally different from the Salmon River in Pulaski. And part of that was the difference in the run this year. The Pulaski had a much bigger run, so I think that attracted a lot of the snaggers. But I get the impression that there's a really good culture that's developing there on the Oswego, where everybody's taking turns walking down the wall on that upper wall. That skein train thing that's going on now is really, really awesome. So I hope that that culture spreads to like the Oak Orchard and Burt Dam, and maybe hopefully someday Pulaski. It'd be really awesome to have the crowded spots be people taking turns walking floats down the wall. That would just be really awesome to see at the Oak. I hope someday that culture develops there. The Oswego is going to be a controversial statement, but I think it's one of the few fisheries in upstate New York where social media has actually benefited it. My sister used to live across the street there. I think I mentioned that in this video at one point, but she lived across the street when she was in college. This was back 12, 15 years ago. Back when I didn't really know what I was doing salmon fishing, and I just remember that whole wall being wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder people, and every single person was just throwing lead and really trying to snag the heck out of these fish. And just complete contrast to now, where everybody was fishing from the right way. The crowds weren't too bad. Right now, the popular thing on social media is to like fish the smaller tributaries, and as well as Steelhead Alley. So as Steelhead Alley and stuff becomes more popular, I think you end up with actually less people on the Oswego, which used to be where everybody and their grandma went. Social media, I think, has helped to spread things out a little bit, and the people that are left at the Oswego are fishing for them the right way. I think social media has actually helped to encourage more people to fish for them the right way, even though it might be encouraging more people to fish for salmon overall. I don't mind that if people are doing things right. It was actually really fun on the upper wall, jumping in that line and just walking your float down with a bunch of other good people. It was a great thing. So if you go to the Oswego, I ask that you do things the right way. You don't try and snag them. People there are happy to help you, give you advice and things like that if you're there fishing for them the right way. The locals won't appreciate it if you're there snagging and messing up their float fishing endeavors, but I think the locals would be happy to help you catch fish the right way. So awesome time. Definitely thumbs up for the Oswego, and just a great trip. Hope you enjoyed today's adventure. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next fishing adventure.